right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time.
No one is going to ask you with mock severity, do you like beer?
60 million people died between 1900 and 1946. And
we've got a couple of word salads from the leaders of our country, Vice President Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. Also, the Senate confirmation hearings for Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson are underway. Day 2 starts today. Updates on Ukraine. Holy cow, I can't talk this morning. All that and more coming up on this episode of Daily Caller Live. My name is Jobob. Daily Caller Live starts right now.
2, 1.
Here we go!
That might be the only brown guy on earth named Jobob.
That is actually their name, Jobob.
Live from a hotel in downtown Phoenix, Arizona. My name is Jobob. This is Daily Caller Live. On today, it is March 22nd, the year of our Lord 2022. Got some fun stuff for you today. Everything's so dreary all the time. Well, we're going to update you on what's going on in Ukraine from a policy side. Obviously, the military fighting is its own thing, and maybe we'll talk about that later on down the road, but we try to stick to what's going on policy-wise there. Then Supreme Court Justice hearings are in the Senate. We'll talk about that a little bit, and also some word salads from the Vice President and the President of the United States. But first, let me get into this. This is negotiations on the brink here in Ukraine v. Russia. Yesterday was kind of interesting. Like I've talked about before on this show, we're not going to cover... but not going to spend a lot of time talking about the terrible things that are happening to the Ukrainian people in Ukraine as Russia invades, but more want to kind of get on the policy side of things. So here's what's happening, or what happened yesterday, it's the nighttime over there right now. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said late Monday he would consider dropping Ukraine's request for full NATO membership, a key Russian demand, in exchange for a ceasefire and withdrawal of Russian troops and security guarantees. That's coming out of the Associated Press. So up until this point, Zelensky and pretty much all of Ukraine and a lot of people around the world are saying, hold the line, don't budge, you guys can do this, all of that sort of stuff. Now Zelensky is finally, it looks like, saying, hey, we might be ready to engage in talks to resolve this issue diplomatically, maybe. Yesterday, Zelensky, president of Ukraine, called for direct talks with Putin and said he would be open to having a discussion about Crimea, which Russia annexed in 2014, and parts of the Donbas region held by Russian-backed separatists. So at this point, Zelensky's kind of looking at things, it appears, and going, all right, let's come to the table here. One, he wants a direct meeting with Putin. I'll continue reading, and this kind of explains what I was just going to explain. What is he saying? It's a compromise for everyone. This is, again, what Zelensky supposedly, or not supposedly, apparently told the Associated Press. It's a compromise for everyone, for the West, which doesn't know what to do with regard to NATO, for Ukraine, which is a security guarantees, and for Russia, which doesn't want further NATO expansion, Zelensky told the AP. Putin so far has refused to meet directly with Zelensky, and weeks of peace talks between the two countries, negotiators have failed to produce any major results. So yeah, it's going to be interesting the next couple days/weeks to see if Putin comes to the table now that Zelensky is offering, hey, we'll take NATO off the table. That's a big thing that Vladimir Putin does not want to have happen. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Moscow has demanded that Ukraine declare neutrality, rule out future NATO membership, and give up all claims to Crimea and Donbas, quote-unquote, republics. So there's that. There's your little Ukraine update. Again, if you want to see the terrible videos that people are posting on the internet of people getting shelled and shot at, you can find those elsewhere, kind of focus on the policy side here. I guess in other great news, President Biden is scheduled to travel to Europe later this week to meet with U.S. allies about the crisis in Ukraine, because that'll do a whole heck of a lot. Speaking of the president, let's get to this. There's two word salads. If you have the time, stick around for Kamala's, because oh my goodness, hers was so funny. But we'll get to that in just a quick second. First, I want to talk about this Biden word salad with a side of tyranny. Joe Biden kind of went off when speaking yesterday, talking about I don't even know. It's some business relations forum thing, and he's talking about the global economy, and then drops a New World Order bomb. So there's that. Check this out from the President of the United States. If you haven't already, click the little like button and click the little share button. I'm seeing a couple thousand of you watching on the screen, which, by the way, I really appreciate you tuning in every day. I see there's people in the comment section that I see every single day, and I appreciate it. Appreciate you taking the time to listen. But here's the President of the United States going from word salad to a little bit of tyranny. Check this out.
We are at an inflection point, I believe, in the world economy. Not just the world economy, in the world. It occurs every 3 or 4 generations. As one of the top military people said to me in a secure meeting the other day, 60 million people died between 1900 and 1946. And since then, we established a liberal world order, and that hadn't happened in a long while. A lot of people dying, but nowhere near the chaos. And now is a time when things are shifting. There's going to be a new world order out there, and we've got to lead it. We've got to unite the rest of the free world in doing it. So anyway.
Okay, did anybody follow that? Because I got a little lost there. Okay, so a military general in a meeting told him that 60 million people died between 1900 and 1946. And that happens every couple generations, and that's why we need to establish a new world order. Okay. Not entirely sure how he strung those thoughts together. But the president with a word salad there, bonanza, at a speech that he was giving yesterday. In regards to the whole new world order thing, that is, you can get a lot of that also elsewhere. I don't want to go into this globalist rabbit hole because we can be in there forever. The new world order that I think Joe Biden is talking about, and the new world order that I feel like mostly the World Economic Forum, the Klaus Schwabs of the world. If you don't know what I'm talking about, by the way, good for you. I feel like those are different things. I think Joe Biden is talking about a pecking order in which the United States is at the top of the food chain, and I think Klaus Schwab is talking about a globalist government, which are two very different things. I think the president, unfortunately, got lost, talked his way into a corner, and was somewhat incoherent in that particular rambling, but that remains to be seen. I want to get to this. I thought this was interesting. By the way, yeah, stick around for the Kamala one. We're a little bit of carrot and stick here. Going to hit you with the President Biden's, holy cow, that's a pretty aggressive Chiron. Biden's racist SCOTUS pick hearing. The president picking the SCOTUS nominee is racist. The way he did it was racist, and nobody seems to care about it. But Ketanji Brown Jackson had her hearing yesterday and is continuing today. I wanted to go through a couple different things about Justice Jackson. This is from Politico. Jackson has been viewed for months as the top contender that fits the bill that Biden and the left-leaning activists have sought in the aftermath of President Trump's attempt to pull the judiciary to the right, which I thought was hilariously worded. This is again in Politico. Fits the bill that Biden and the left-leaning activists have sought. Apparently that bill was Black Woman, which is a crazy demeaning way to pick a Supreme Court justice, but here we are. That's how that is. I want to go through a couple of Justice or Judge Jackson or Brown Jackson's resume / bio. Jackson clerked for 3 federal jurists, including a district court in Massachusetts and an appellate court in the First Circuit, and Breyer himself, Justice Breyer, who is retiring and giving way for Ketanji Brown Jackson. Earlier in her career, Jackson worked as an assistant federal public defender in Washington, D.C., where she worked on appellate cases and served as the vice chair of the U.S. Sentencing Commission for several years. She also attended Harvard, which is the biggest problem I have with this. Harvard or Yale. That's the only schools that apparently you can go to and become Supreme Court Justice. I think Coney Barrett went to Notre Dame. But outside of that, you have to go to Harvard Law or Yale Law. Talk about diversity on the Supreme Court, because everybody went there. I wanted to read these sorts of things because I feel like I want to keep reiterating the fact of how incredibly demeaning it was for the Biden administration to announce that it's going to pick a black woman to sit on the Supreme Court. Reason being, obviously, because it diminishes and devalues Ketanji Brown Jackson's overall resume. Would I disagree on a lot of political leanings? Probably. But the way our country is set up, the president gets to pick the Supreme Court justice. That's just how it works. Whether or not I agree with the Supreme Court justice on everything is seemingly irrelevant. Just the system works in a way that the president gets to pick the Supreme Court justice. The biggest problem I have here is, while I probably disagree heavily with Brown Jackson, what is it? KBJ. While I probably disagree a lot with KBJ's overall political philosophy, the resume seems decently impressive. Seems like a resume fitting of a Supreme Court justice. But since the president said we're going to pick a black woman, all of those resume qualifications get called into question, which is, again, crazy demeaning. Republicans are raising concerns after review by the conservative news website Daily Wire. This is, I think, from a Politico article. They found Jackson in 2020 in a lecture highlighted a book written by Derek Bell that was put on her family coffee table when she was growing up. So she's obviously going to get hit from that side. But I wanted to also bring up something that Ted Cruz said. Check this out. Listen to this. I think this is pretty danged interesting. Listen to this.
No one is going to inquire into your teenage dating habits. No one is going to ask you with mock severity, do you like beer? But that's not to say this hearing should be non-substantive and non-vigorous.
Oh, yeah. Remember when Senate Democrats during the Kavanaugh hearing decided to make up a gang rape story to try and get him off of the Supreme Court, or to try and get him barred from joining the Supreme Court? Yeah, never forget the whole Kavanaugh craziness, the circus that surrounded that. So that's what I thought was interesting that Ted Cruz said, hey, just so you know, Republicans on this committee are going to act in at least some sense of decorum here. While we might disagree with you on your philosophy, your legal theory leanings, while we might disagree with you philosophically, at least these questions aren't going to be completely made up out of nowhere, such as the questions were for Brett Kavanaugh, now Supreme Court Justice. So I thought that was interesting. Let me see. Oh, let's get to this. Let's get to... Nope, I already did that one. Let's get to this. The new word salad from Vice President Kamala Harris, talking in Nevada yesterday. Shoot. I think it was Greg Price on Twitter. If you follow him, he put out like a montage of Kamala Harris's word salads. Maybe we'll play that tomorrow just because it's fun. But this one is one for the record books. She goes on and on to talk about, I actually don't know what. I have no idea what she was the point she was trying to make. But again, another word salad by the Vice President of the United States. Take a listen, and we'll joke about it on the other side of this. Watch.
The governor and I, and we were all doing a tour of the library here, and talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time in terms of what we need to do to lay these wires, what we need to do to create these jobs. And there is such great significance to the passage of time when we think about a day in the life of our children.
Yes, I will take one word salad with a side of condescending head bob. That's, I think, my favorite thing about these. When she says something, when Kamala Harris talks herself into a corner and then tries to wiggle her way out, but can't quite seem to do so, but then pauses inconspicuously, indiscriminately, then pauses indiscriminately for a head bob of like, yeah, you got that? Yeah? Huh? I just dropped some heat on y'all. Like, dude, you didn't say anything significant. Why are you acting like you did? But such is the vice president and her word salads for the day. I don't know. I wonder what kind of dressing she has on those word salads. Before we go, I wanted to. There was a really, really interesting headline that I saw right before we came on. Apparently, so you have the Pfizer CEO and you've got a bunch of other people talking about taking a fourth COVID shot. Apparently, the Biden administration can't afford that. This was from the Washington Post. The Biden administration lacks the funds to purchase a potential fourth coronavirus vaccine dose for everyone. Even as other countries place their own orders and potentially move ahead, the United States in line, move ahead of the United States in line, the administration officials said on Monday. Federal officials have secured enough doses to cover a fourth shot for Americans 65 and older, as well as the initial regimen for children under age 5. So that's not the booster stuff. Should regulators determine those shots are necessary, said 3 officials speaking on the condition of anonymity to detail funding decisions. Basically, the United States government has voted so much money out of the Treasury and voted the United States into more and more debt, but not quite enough to fund more shots. So there's that. Unless they pass another $15 billion in funding package. So, great. When the Fauci's of the world say we need a 4th and 5th and 6th and 9th booster shot, we can't pay for it because, well, they don't have the funding, which is interesting and fun to kind of talk about. That's going to do it for us today. Let me see. Any announcements, any big things? Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. My most recent, dang it, I just said I was going to bring that up tomorrow. Tomorrow I will play the reel that is hilarious and has gotten 2 million views on Instagram because it's freaking hilarious. It's only 12 seconds long. I'll bring it up. But if you want to see it early, go follow me on Instagram at JOBOB. Also Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Getter, The Truth Social. I'm on that now. Anywhere where you can find me on social media. If you're in the greater Chicago area, I'm there tonight, catching a plane in about an hour to go speak to a bunch of Turning Point USA students in Chicagoland. Super excited for that. So if you're in the area, you can also go find me on Instagram and see where we're going to be and talking about freedom and all of the things that pertain to less government and more freedom for the American people. So if you're in Chicago, come check me out, say hi. Would love that. We'll be right back here, same time, same place, actually, in downtown Phoenix. We'll be back. Short trip on the ground. I think I'm on the ground in Chicago for like 6 hours. So should be a good one. But we'll be right back here tomorrow. Appreciate all you tuning in to Daily Caller Live each and every morning. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless America.